Good day and welcome to another reactionary podcast of Two Mics with Two Mics. I'm Pastor Mike and I have a microphone.
And I'm Pastor Michael and I have a microphone, and we're having a good chuckle here to start off. So today's podcast episode will be exactly what he just described, which is reactionary. So we have some words here that were specifically chosen for one another. And we're going to do some fun word association, and we'll see what comes out of our mouths. And truly, how sanctified we are as pastors.
Chosen by our producer.
Chosen by our producer. Yeah. So we don't actually know what each other have on these pieces of paper. But what's going to happen is he's going to say a word, and I'm going to quickly, without thinking, with minimal thinking, minimal time, say the first word that comes to mind. And we'll go back and forth in such a manner. And we have three different categories of which we'll be doing this. And they escalate in terms of their impulse, the impulse that they may bring towards each one of us. So, yeah, let's get started. And thanks for tuning in.
Are you ready for your first word?
Sure, let's go.
Sassy.
Pants.
Okay. Why pant? P-A-N-T-S. Things you wear?
Yes, things you wear.
Not.
No, because
Well, a dog pants.
All I can think of now is like a Karen that they're panting, like they're really sassy and they're like. So anyway, no, not pants like a dog. Pants like what you wear, because I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I'm pretty sure she has said several times, "You're being a sassy pants," or "someone's being a sassy pants," or I've heard that phraseology enough where it just came to mind. Sassy pants.
Okay, is that all you got to say on that matter?
Like the Fatty McButter pants, but they're sassy.
Fatty McButter pants.
All right, you ready?
Well, I know that's in my mind now.
Can you describe those for us, please?
Fatty McButter pants are comfortable house pants that especially in the fall, winter, early spring, when you get home and you're just done.
You butter up your legs and you slide right in.
No, you just get your Fatty McButter pants. They could be sweatpants. They could be house pants. They could be long pajama bottoms.
But no butter involved.
No, my wife just calls them Fatty McButter pants.
I feel like that cheapens it. You should have butter involved. But anyway, are you ready for yours?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Squishy.
Squid. Squids are squishy.
So we're going literal.
Well, they're squishy.
When was the last time you
touched a squid?
You grasped?
Probably 3 years ago in the meat department of some store.
You're just walking by the freezer and went.
Well, brother, I mean, squishy. I think squid. Sorry.
No, you should apologize.
I'm a boomer.
Actually,
I'm a boomer.
Squishy.
I mean, there's worse things I could have said.
Yep, but no, squid's good. Squid's
could have
good.
said grapefruit.
If they're not
all right,
ripe.
let's go.
No, it's you.
It's me.
It's you.
Let's get off of that. Ready?
Ready.
Fat. Don't you dare say my name.
Lard.
Lard. Why lard?
Because fat lard brings me to fat load, which brings me to gelatinous human beings.
Gelatinous?
Yes, gelatinous human beings.
Is that a word?
That is a word. Guaranteed. Go ahead, look it up. Look it up there, co-producer. Gelatinous is a word. It's like Jell-O. So fat lard, because my thoughts went to essentially McDonald's for what it is now, not what it was back in the day, and how McDonald's produces fat lard.
And fat people.
Fat lards.
All right.
So that was where my mind went. Gelatinous a word? Thank you very much. Confirmed. Google confirmed it. You ready?
Can you use it in a sentence?
Yes. My cellulite is gelatinous.
Okay, give me the word.
We're on fat lard, right?
Give me the word.
All right. Here you go. Ugly.
Man, Roseanne Barr.
Really? I've known you for 10 plus years. I've never heard you say her name.
It's because
this is the first time.
It's because of Trump and hers battle back and forth over the years. And it has to do with a
Hold on.
meme.
What decade?
You know, it would have been
The 90s? Are we talking like when Roseanne was
No, it would have
on
been
TV?
his actually right before his first term.
Okay. I think she's come around.
Or it reminds me of Winston Churchill, the old joke, where he's at a party and he's drunk, and this woman comes up to him and says, "Mr. Churchill, you're drunk." He says, "Yes, but you're ugly." He said, "But in the morning, I shall be sober."
Roseanne Barr. I think what happened now, I think she's actually not pro-Trump,
She's a Republican now.
but she's a Republican now. I
Yeah,
think
she's lost
she got
some weight
canceled
and-
because of something she said that might have been stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
probably a bad example, but that's just what first came to my mind because of her and Trump's exchanging of
But
words
not
back
because of how she looks, or is it because of how she looks? Or is it the inner ugliness?
whatever he was referring to. So you'd have to ask him, but that's the first thing came to my mind.
Fair enough.
Okay.
You're up.
Oh, I'm up. Starbucks.
Oh, crud. The first thing that came to my mind was abortion water. Thank you very much.
Why abortion water? Why
because-
associate that with Starbucks?
Because Starbucks is a large donor towards Planned Parenthood, and obviously we know Planned Parenthood is the #1 perpetrator of abortions. So that's one of the reasons why, unless given a gift card, I will not be a partaker of Starbucks coffee. And really, their coffee's not even that great. It's really not that great. It's overrated. But that's what came to my mind. So let's get off of that. Abortion water.
Okay.
Alone time.
Prime time.
Can you explain that, please?
Yeah. Alone time is my prime time where no one's bothering me. I think of it specifically in the morning because it takes me a while to wake up. So I love it when I wake up first, which happens more times than not, before my wife. And so I will, get my coffee and whatever and sit in the living room, just alone time, prime time, and either watch a beach water scene, no people, just beach water scene, calming waves, or maybe highlights of a football game.
So
Or maybe a preacher.
I know our viewers are wondering, it's very important. Mm-hmm. During this prime time, alone time, are you in your fatty McButter
Oh, yeah,
pants?
definitely.
Okay. No butter involved, though.
In my Fatty McButter, my extra large T-shirt that fits loose, believe it or not. Okay, maybe it's a 2X. Fits loose, and it's just alone time.
Have you ever heard of FUBU?
For us, by us.
I don't think that's what it stood for. Is that what it stood for?
FUBU?
Yeah.
Yeah, stands for us, by us.
No. Like back in the day, there was a clothing company called FUBU. I don't
Yeah.
know if that was
That's what it
stood for.
means.
Can you find out if that's what it stood for?
It's still in Walmart.
Is it really?
I saw shoes. Like,
Okay, but back in the day when FUBU was like owned by like people who listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony kind of thing, not Walmart. Anyway, they have very large, extra large
Yeah.
shirts and
They had them for
Fatty
sale
McButter
at
pants.
Dillard's.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were still around. I thought they were gone.
For us, by us.
Yeah,
Check it out.
apparently. There was another.
Because I heard the guy that owned the company say that.
All right, well,
He
there's
was
something new.
a black gentleman that said it means for us, by us.
Who owned it first? I'm curious. Anyway,
Say, I do know things.
no, I believe you, but like it's like Rockaware, right? Rockaware, you know Rockaware?
Nope.
Okay. Like it was used like that in New York a lot of the time. So,
Damon John owns it from Sharks.
huh? Okay, so it's been transferred. It must have been. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
Epstein.
Island.
Okay, and you
Why?
wanna elaborate
Let's all talk about
the
this one.
Epstein Island.
Epstein Island, where a lot of the world's elite, a lot of the famous actors took this plane of pedophiles, politicians, actors, actresses, musicians, all different kinds, took this plane with Mr. Jeffrey Epstein who totally killed himself in jail.
Oh,
There's no way that he didn't do that. He totally did because he was anyway. Much like Diddy, I'm sure will eventually. But he would take people to this island that he had that was in the shape of the Nickelodeon splash thing. If you know what I'm talking about, there was
Yeah.
a logo that Nickelodeon had. It was in the same shape as that, which is all connecting. It's really just disturbing.
now,
but there,
was it naturally shaped that way, or did he have it shaped that way?
I think it was naturally shaped that way,
Okay.
and then Nickelodeon took it, but I don't really know. Regardless of that, it's where a lot of these people were committing acts with minors, sexual acts, devious acts, disturbing acts.
Perversion acts.
Epstein and then Island, yes, comes to mind because it's literally pedophile island.
Yeah.
And if you actually see photos of it, there's a lot of architecture and statues that glorify Egyptian mythology, interestingly enough.
Any prediction on if and when that list will come out?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Because one of the things that I believe is happening right now is, what is it, Doge, right? D-O-J-E, D-O-G-E. They're about to go through CPS, and there's a lot of children missing. And so I'm kind of curious how that might connect.
Interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right.
What do you got?
I got trauma.
Airplanes.
All right. You got to explain that one.
Well, first of the year, 2 airplanes crashed. Trauma.
For whom?
Obviously, for everybody that died, and then for the
Hold on.
victim's
If you're
family,
dead, you can't have trauma because you're dead.
the trauma in dying, and then for the families and friends that were
That I get.
family and friends of the victims.
All right. Okay. I'm surprised it's the first thing that came to your mind, though.
Well, it's
I mean,
fresh
hey.
on my mind because of a so-called prophecy that somebody had that in
It
2020.
seemed pretty accurate. You're talking about the
Yeah.
black pastor or prophet
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
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 that
yeah.
seemed pretty accurate.
Do
I
you
was
remember
like,
the prophecy?
I remember the prophecy. I don't remember the guy.
No, forget the guy. What's the prophecy?
Oh, the prophecy. This guy basically said that the Lord revealed to him that he was going to have to start driving to go to all these different speaking engagements, to go preach and so on and so forth, because there'd be an issue with planes crashing and things of that nature wouldn't be available anymore or wouldn't be safe to actually travel via planes. So if you find that person, comment. He's I think he was shaved head, black guy, shaved head. I don't know if he's a self-proclaimed prophet or if he's just
Slim,
a
heavy
pastor.
set,
Yeah, he was slim. He was slim,
Okay.
seemingly slim. He was sitting. I remember that.
from America.
Oh,
from,
definitely from America.
Okay.
He's from America. But yeah, he started saying that the Lord revealed to him last year in 2024 what would be happening, which started happening with the planes and whatnot. So I'm curious who that guy is. If you know him, comment his name or just put the link in the comments. That'd
But
be
that's
great.
why when you said trauma, planes came to my mind because that prophecy that I had heard, I believe from you, and the fact those 2 planes that went down in 1 week.
Yeah, I think another one just went down too. I'm telling you, there's always a reason behind this stuff, but we'll cover that next week. So, is
Ready?
it my turn? No, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's my turn.
Gay.
Happy.
Is it because of the way I said it? What if I would have said gay?
I still would have said happy.
Oh, okay. Because that's what
I-
it means.
You know, words change over time so much, but when I hear the word gay, for whatever reason, the Christmas song comes to mind. Every
Don-
single time.
Don we now.
Our gay apparel. I have great gay apparel
Rah,
at
rah,
home.
rah. Rah,
and they're-
rah, rah.
it's part of my Fatty McButter pants. That's my happy time too. I actually still have a pair of pajama pants that for whatever reason, when I was smoking a ton of weed, I cut them off at right below the knee, but they kind of remind me of hipster, weird, hippie pants. I don't know how else to put it, but they're
Hammer pants?
No, hippie pants. They're super comfortable. I feel like it's something where someone from California would go out to the redwoods and do yoga, but he's in extremely comfortable pants, like doing Tai Chi. That's one of my Fatty McButter pants. That's gay apparel. That works on multiple levels. However, it makes me happy because I'm very comfortable.
Are your Fetty McButter pants flannel or sweatpants?
Usually sweatpants. Flannel ain't my deal. I get too
Okay.
hot. It don't work. But anyway, yeah, that's my gay apparel, is my comfortable pants. Because it makes me happy to be comfortable.
Sweet.
Yes.
Makes you gay.
Very happy. Very, very happy.
I'm the gayest man in the church. Because I'm the happiest guy in the
It
church.
seems like a reel where it's like somebody, like a pastor who's old school has no idea that the word changed. Like, I'm so gay. Thank the Lord. Like, yeah.
I'm happy.
And then you go the other part of the country and it means something else. Anyway. All right. You ready?
Shoot.
Budget.
Headache.
Now, for our viewers out there, why?
Because trying to come up, number one, we don't budget. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. We used to never budget. Now, because of you, we have a budget on a couple of things.
Praise the Lord.
Budget. Usually budgets are headaches. I have never done this. Never. I've never sat down with our board of elders at the beginning of the year and said, okay, here's the budget for this year. We need X number of dollars for children's church. We need X number of dollars for missions. We need X number of dollars for upkeep of our vehicles. Never done
What's
that.
the plus and minus of that? Of having a budget?
I don't
Positives and
know
negatives.
because I've never had one. So I
But you
have
had one for your
heard,
personal life, have you not?
only out of necessity.
Yeah, but isn't that a nice thing in your personal life? Or was it not a nice thing because it was out of necessity?
Well, supposedly a budget will keep you from overspending. A budget will keep you from.
You say supposedly.
Well,
I've heard.
it's what it's supposed to
I
do.
read in books.
It supposedly keeps you from impulse buying.
Okay.
It supposedly helps you, like a lot of people, a lot of families have a Christmas fund.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of their budget, X number of dollars every month, regardless, goes into the Christmas fund. So when December comes, the money's already there and they're not scrambling to try to. So budgets are good things. I'm just saying, I'm not saying they're bad.
No, you said the first thing that came to your mind.
Headache for
Headache.
me.
For you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. What do you got?
Oh, you don't want this one. Infidelity.
Whore.
Wow.
That's right. Hey, it's a biblical word, man. King James.
Yeah, it is. It's a biblical word.
Why did that come to mind? If you need me to spell that out for you, you might have a problem.
WHORE.
Yes. Why did that come to mind? I'll still spell it out anyway. Because when there's infidelity, I'm going to tell you, even when I was not living for Christ, didn't have a really great understanding of loyalty according to what the Bible says, infidelity just irked me. It was irksome, as somebody on TV might say. It actually would fill me with rage. There were like, whenever I watch a movie and there'd be somebody who commits adultery, who is unfaithful, who's disloyal,
Which is about every movie.
yeah. Well, in terms of the guy-girl relationship, in terms of
Right.
marriages and things of that nature, it would fill me with like rage. Like I would get really upset.
Well,
like,
that's good.
Well, it's good because it carried over into my marriage.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what comes to my mind. And if you can imagine why, it's because I've been at the brunt of that, but not in my marriage, at the brunt of that in relationships in the past. About a couple of them. So, yeah, that's what came to my mind.
Yeah, we kind of preached on that a little bit a few weeks ago about adultery and how it wrecks a family.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And how,
What is it? 2 Samuel 11 and 12. Take a look. If you have a Bible in your home,
Yeah.
maybe you're in a hotel, grab that Gideon Bible, look up 2 Samuel 11 and 12, and learn what infidelity may cost you.
And how that many times, not all the time, but many times, a man that commits adultery against his wife is usually with someone who's not even as good looking as his wife.
You know, I've heard it said like this. Why would you give up regular sex? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Why would you give up regular sex for a fling? Like we're talking years of normal sex,
Because
regular weekly sex.
strange flesh. That's
Exactly.
what the Bible says.
All right, you ready?
Okay, give me a word and don't make it strange flesh.
All right, perfect. You ready? Perverted.
Sick.
Let's hear it. What came to mind that described the sick? What?
Well, basically about everything we just been talking about. Homosexual relationships, lesbianism relationships, pedophilia, mostly those three. I mean, there's a reason God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And I know that's an old line, and people, oh man, you used that line. Yeah, I did, because it's true. Adam and Eve. Perversion comes in all types of forms. It doesn't just come sexually.
I
But
noticed,
for
though,
the main part, it is.
you named three. You said homosexual relationships with a guy, homosexual relationships with a girl,
Lesbianism.
and pedophilia. Now, how come you didn't mention heterosexual perversion?
I don't know.
Because that exists, as we know.
Well, yeah, that does exist.
Going right back to the infidelity.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But I mean, when you say perversion, that was the word, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
I mean, that just goes into the depths of a miry pit that it's just best left there.
Indeed. It should die off.
But it happens. Okay.
It does.
You ready?
Yes.
Oh, boy. YOLO.
Oh, you only live once. You should choose another one because that's the only thing I can think
Okay.
of. You only live once. I
All
mean,
right, all right.
really,
No,
it's
no,
just an
no.
old saying.
No, no.
It's just,
Here we go. You ready?
yeah,
All right. This may cost you your job.
perfect.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
2 words. Okay,
Rude.
boomer.
Rude. That comes to my mind. Honestly,
You want a different one?
no, that's fine. I'm
I'll
going to
give you
explain
another
this.
one.
I'm going to explain this.
Okay.
So when people say okay, boomer, I'm really not a fan of that. Pretend you're not here, okay? I'm not a fan of that because really one of the biggest things that I see with millennials and with Gen Z is a major disrespect for anybody older because of their lack of understanding of tech. And that drives me crazy where people are like, who, again, are millennial and Gen Z, because of this ignorance or this lack of intuition with phones and with computers, they become disrespectful to the older generation and they say like, okay, boomer, like they just write them off because somehow if they don't have this understanding of technology, that therefore they're moronic and stupid. And I think that's incredibly disrespectful because most of the boomers, are very wise. Most of them. I mean, there are some grown up babies there. I mean, some
yeah.
people just never grow up, but they're very wise, but also they have an understanding of history, which millennials and Gen Z lack. That understanding of history. I mean, a lot of them can't even tell you our first president. A lot of them can't tell you what certain things, like certain simple mathematics where it's like, okay, yes, a boomer may not understand, iOS whatever, or they might not understand, the S24. They might not understand, technology, but they certainly understand aspects of life where you should probably just drop that phrase. I think it's extremely disrespectful. And if you love your grandma and your grandpa, definitely drop
See,
that
I didn't
phrase.
even know it was a phrase.
It's
I
just
tell
rude.
you, I tell you what, boomers, we can read an analog clock. We can write cursive.
Yeah, that's one thing that they like today.
We can drive a stick shift car or truck.
Hey, don't let this go to your head because
I'm
there
going-
are some things
See,
that millennials and Gen Z could do.
Now, I'd never heard that.
It's a rude thing.
Okay,
It's
boomer.
like if you ticked me off and I just went, okay, boomer, and I walked
I
out.
thought it was.
That's what
I'd
it
never
is.
heard that. I thought it was, hey, he's an okay boomer.
No, I'm pretty sure what I said, right? He's an okay boomer.
He's an okay boomer. She's an okay boomer. Okay.
So
Boomer?
basically, people on the street who've been saying, okay, boomer, you're like, thanks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I made it. I feel gay.
Wow. Happy.
I'm pretty sure what I said is how it's used. Am I right? Yeah, okay.
See, I've never heard that.
Well, now you know if someone says okay, boomer, like
gonna
start puffing
kick
out
'em
your chest
between the
and
legs,
show them
right.
show them your
Something fat, something. Okay, give me the word. Gross them out.
take that.
Make them pass out. Throw up.
Buy me some fatty but butter pants. Anyway. All right,
There's
you
a
ready?
reason. Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Diversity.
Diversity. I don't know.
No, you're not supposed to know. You're
No,
not supposed to think.
no.
Diversity, go.
All I could think of was the word divide, and that's just too plain.
All right, I'll give
Diversity,
you another one. I'll
divide.
give you another one.
Separate.
Okay.
Diversity.
You ready?
Yeah.
Tech savvy.
You.
Well, shoot. Can you elaborate, please?
Well, you are more tech savvy than I am, that's for sure. Even though you compliment me on being pretty good,
Yes.
savvy tech wise
I thought you were
for my age.
a lot more boomery in terms of your understanding of technology. And then I dealt with my father. Hello. And my father is way worse than you, and he was born in the same year. And I came back. I remember I was with my dad on vacation. My whole family was with my parents, and I was helping him with stuff, and I realized he actually knows a thing or two about technology in comparison. So sorry, Dad, you lost the
Hey, but
contest.
your dad's an okay boomer.
Gosh. All right.
He's an okay boomer.
Now that my head is twice its size,
No,
Your turn.
You're tech savvy. Of course, so is Brannon,
oh, that guy,
our sound
he's
guy,
way,
who fixes his
or
own.
a producer. They
He-
far surpass me. I have to learn things.
Brannon fixes his own iPhones.
Yes, he does.
Brannon builds computers.
Yes, he does. Let's just compliment our church. on
Yeah,
air.
he is. He's great. And no, you can't have him. All right, you ready?
Ready?
Now you're going to have fun with this one. Okay? Here, let me tell you what not to think.
No, just say it. Just say it.
Okay,
Just say it.
Snowflake.
Malnourished.
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 How in the world did Snowflake come with malnourished?
Because when I think of snowflake, I think of malnourished Antifa people. I think of really skinny white guys getting angry on behalf of all different kinds of diverse ethnicities and then doing sniveling little tactics like sneaking ice picks into convention events of people who hold opposite viewpoints. But I think of malnourished, skinny white guys who are enraged, where if you actually challenge them appropriately, they would crumble. So I think of malnourished people because they're the ones eating,
So male or female?
usually male.
Usually
Males,
male,
male
but
what came to mind.
can
Males
be
are what
female.
came to mind. And I think of these guys who have they ingest too much soy. They have too much estrogen inside of them. Because yes, guess what? Men are supposed to not ingest a lot of soy, which is one of the reasons why we see some problems. They're not supposed to have a lot of estrogen, which is why you see a lot of problems. We're supposed to be producing testosterone.
That's why I
And
don't eat
so-
tofu.
I actually really liked tofu with teriyaki sauce when I was a kid, but I didn't have it that much. Weird combination, I know, but whatever. Anyway, that's what came to my mind was malnourished, skinny white guys who are sniveling little cowards who will grab weapons and terrorize people through rhetoric and shouting. I know, weird, whatever.
They're
I'll
mama's
take it.
boys.
I don't even know if they have mamas because I feel like their mothers would slap them because they're okay boomers.
Give me the word.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Vegan.
Wow, I just put something
Quickly.
up on Facebook about that. I'm trying to think of what it was because that's what I want to say. I don't
What comes to mind immediately? Vegan.
plants. Plants. Okay. Well, because a lot of vegans don't eat meat if they're true vegan.
They graze.
You know, a couple things come to mind. When God had Noah build the ark, he brought animals on board, not vegetables. So God saved meat, not vegetables.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the other one because I just put it up on Facebook and I can't remember something about vegan. It was funny. Can I look?
Go ahead and look.
Okay. I'm gonna
I'll just tell you, there's a whole like vegan. I saw this thing. What was it? I don't think anybody. There's certain like categories of vegans. Like I knew one raw vegan. He actually wouldn't even shower. He'd shower with lemon juice. I don't really even understand why that is. If you're a raw vegan and you watch us, please explain what that is. That'd be great. Comment.
raw vegan?
Yeah,
That's what you call
raw
them?
vegan is what it's called. But I'm pretty sure I just saw this the other day that because of how all of our food is, no one can actually be vegan because there's animal parts in like everything.
Everything.
And so if you're trying to be vegan, unless you grow it yourself or like have like your own organic, like, you know, greenhouse or something like that, you can't actually be vegan, is from what I understand. Even if you shop at Whole Foods, sorry. And there's a lot of people in Whole Foods that are vegan, and they kind of look like Igor from Young Frankenstein a little bit. A lot of them. It's a little bit of a freak show sometimes at Whole Foods, depending on where you go. And I've shopped at Whole Foods. I like certain things there, but every time you go there, you see the people, and you're like, yeah, it's you just look a little decrepit.
Well, a couple of my,
little
I know
unhealthy.
you're going to find this hard to believe, but a couple of my posts have been taken down.
You know what?
And I'm going to assume,
Because I'm tech savvy, I'm going to say that iPhone is overdue for an upgrade. Perhaps there's a problem.
it's not the iPhone. It's that this content cannot be found right now. Usually this is by, oh no, here it is. No, I found the one, but I did have two things removed. All right, here it is. It has a picture of a cow. Okay, a cow.
Okay.
A cow. Got
I
it?
see the cow.
Picture of a cow.
I see the cow.
Okay. It says they say cows are bad for the environment. All they do is eat plants and fart. Kind of like vegans.
That's my drum roll.
All right, we're going to go to the word.
Is
You ready?
it my? No, it's your turn. This is my last one, right? This is the last one.
Yeah, you gave me vegan.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's the last one, or is this
Yeah,
the second to
this
last?
is the
one?
last one for you.
All right.
That was the last one for me, right?
No, you got one more.
Oh, I do.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, social justice warrior.
Oh gosh, pink hair.
You're not talking about that prophetess gal.
No, she's not a social justice warrior. She's just a psycho. Yeah. So social justice warrior. What comes to mind? Pink hair. Because anybody who proclaims themselves to be social justice warrior, which was something that was done about 10, I'm going to say 5 to 10 years ago. Now they don't call themselves that. But they still out themselves with brightly colored hair. I had, okay, for those of you that know, Chester Bennington. I don't know if that rings a bell for anybody. He was the lead singer of Linkin Park. And he had spiky hair all the way around, and he had every color under the sun. My parents did not like me dyeing my hair. So for those of you who, again, are millennials, I'd take Kool-Aid to school, and I'd dye my hair for the day. So in that way, I could just disobey
With
my
Kool-Aid?
parents. Yeah, you could do that. And so I had my hair colored every other color under the sun. But that was during a time where it wasn't like, okay, I'm fighting social justice reforms or whatever. It was, I like this band. It's pop punk, new metal, metal, whatever. And so you dyed your hair. So I had my hair dyed. I'm not opposed to dyeing of hair. However, when you have pink hair, purple hair, green hair, blue hair, mostly pink, and you're shouting in the middle of the street and you can't articulate an argument, you just are reciting rhetoric from a political standpoint, from tribalism, there is an issue there, and you can be a social justice warrior. And one reason why I have a problem with the word social justice in general is it is a construct of our modern society where really it's just called justice. Justice is the only real form of justice, because justice should filter through every aspect of society, including the social aspects. However, pink hair, social justice warriors, shouting, overweight, going back to fat lard, McDonald's, done. There you go. Those are all my word associations.
How do you dye your hair with Kool-Aid?
We could do it after this if you like.
No, just tell me.
I think you look real good, but we can match your eyes.
Tell me how you do it.
Basically, you just put it in your hair. Like you have the
put the
powdered
powder.
stuff. Yeah, you could do the powder. You
Do
can put
you
that
mix it
straight in your
with
hair.
water?
You can mix it with water and then put it in your hair. Yeah.
How'd you
There's
do
a few
it?
different
Did
ways
you
to
do
do
it
it.
dry or did you do it mixed
I
with
did
water?
both. I did both because
Of course
sometimes
you
I just
did.
want the front. Sometimes I just want like a streak, things like that.
Interesting.
Not really, just kind of gross. The fact that you can put that in your body and then you could dye your hair with it for temporarily one day, kind of gross.
How long does it take to wash it out?
Oh, it's just one day. You could just wash it out. Not that long, depending on if you have like shampoo or something. So
Wow.
yeah,
Interesting.
a little bit. When it was blue, I looked like a Smurf, but I didn't really care.
I'm an okay boomer.
All right, I don't know. Yeah, why not? We'll try this. All right, you ready?
No, but go ahead.
Let me just look one more time. Let me just look. All right, gender neutral.
Attitude.
Explain for the folks.
Gender neutral is an attitude.
Okay.
It's not a scientific fact. It's not something you're born with because you're either born male or female. So gender neutral is an attitude that people who, for whatever reason, are unhappy with the way they were born, cop an attitude.
I thought of the Angel from Led Zeppelin, their cover, where there's just nothing in the crotchal region. That's what I thought of.
Well, you're not an okay boomer, so of course you would think that.
Actually, I would say that would be more in line with the boomers,
Well-
actually.
Oh boy, someone's calling.
Oh, boy. Oh, jeez. How do I send a message?
I was going to answer it and say, "Hey, you're on
Nah.
two mics with two mics."
Turtle wax.
It was
Anyway.
one of my cars. Was that a word? Turtle wax? Cars.
No, that wasn't a word. I
Oh.
was just talking about the person calling.
Telegraph.
There we go. All right. So I'm pretty sure he's calling me right now because I feel it. I feel it in my fatty McButter pants.
Do you want one more?
Sure. Give me one more. We'll close it out.
Cancel culture.
Oh, whiny babies. Why?
Right up there with the snowflakes.
I have heard opposing views. Here you go. This is for all you out there. If you ever feel the temptation to go view something else. Essentially, I'm a young man. He's an okay boomer. We've heard opposing views our entire lives in ministry and our lives as Christians. And you have to listen to rationalizations and logic for people to A, live in sin, to B, not give their lives over to Christ, to C, not give lordship of your life over to Jesus, which is a little bit different. It's essentially going, okay, Jesus saved me. I've confessed and believed, but now I want to let Jesus into different areas of my life, my finances, my sexual life, all that stuff, and honor him in that way. That's Jesus being your Lord. But we've had to hear all different kinds of people rationalize their lack of faith, their lifestyles, their sexual choices, their DUIs or DWIs, their infidelity, their whatever, their drunkenness, and so on and so forth. We don't get I'm going to say the luxury of going, oh, okay, well, I don't want to hear this, so you could just leave because of our love for the Lord and our love for people. But for whatever reason, it became this thing in our country for a short time because it kind of has stopped more or less. I'm going to say they pulled it back. They pulled the reins a little bit regarding cancel culture, where if you don't like something, it should be canceled. If you don't, if it hurts your feelings, it should be canceled. That's just stupid. I mean, I'll just say it. In my opinion, that's just stupid because you should be able to hear something that really gets a rise out of you, that can hurt you, that can anger you, that can frustrate you. You should be able to listen to that and still exist afterwards.
Okay.
You should be able to listen to that, be able to handle it, be able to restrain yourself and control your emotions. You should be able to learn how to handle opposing viewpoints, lifestyles, cultures without canceling somebody. And so,
Is it ever right to cancel someone, in your opinion?
to cancel somebody?
Yeah, like, they tore down the statue of Robert E. Lee.
No, because you need to remember the history so we never repeat it.
Okay.
Like even with Saddam Hussein, like I'm not a fan of Saddam Hussein. Here, I'll go on record as a Jew. I don't like Saddam Hussein. But they tore down his statue. If anything, I do believe that regime obviously needed to die. Praise God, it did. But that statue, it should have been a reminder to not let somebody else, another Hussein, take power. It should have been a reminder, hey, we should never allow this to happen again. Because history is really doomed to repeat itself if you don't remember it.
One reason I brought that up was because of the recent discovery, which has been out for decades with certain people, but now when President Trump went in and declassified files, right? RFK assassination, JFK assassination, Martin Luther King Jr. assassination, and then out of that, especially for Martin Luther King, came the FBI, whatever, intelligence reports that not only was he a frequent adulterer, but also a child molester. Okay. Should the holiday that we have in his name be canceled because
Should
of
it?
new light? Yeah, we don't have a Robert E. Lee holiday.
No, but we did rename Columbus Day, but some people still call it Columbus Day instead of Indigenous Peoples
Why
Day.
did we rename it when it was Columbus?
Because it became Indigenous Peoples Day. I don't think we should rename stuff just because we learn new information. I don't think that.
Do you think he should be honored with a holiday now that we know?
What's the holiday for? Is
For
it just
him.
for him, or is it for what he accomplished?
Well, it's in his name. Maybe they should change it to Civil Rights Day.
See, I'd be curious if people would have an issue with that. Like civil rights, I don't know, something like that. Civil Rights Victory Day, something like that. I'm curious if people
Like
would be
they
upset
canceled
about
the
that.
Redskins.
But you see, I could see a lot of people going, well, who doesn't sin? Who doesn't fall short of, who
Nobody.
doesn't?
Everybody sins,
I
but
saw-
not everybody.
hold on.
Oh, no.
I saw this thing on Cops. Okay, because Cops is hilarious sometimes, and it was some guy, and he got pulled over, and the cop goes up and is like, "Oh, okay, just checking his license." He goes, "Oh, are you a felon?" He goes, "Who isn't?" And I could think of MLK, and it's like, "Oh, he was an adulterer and a child molester," and somebody would say, defending him, "Who isn't?" That's what my mind went to. We're talking about word
Everybody
association.
sins. We know that.
Yeah.
But there's not a Jeffrey Epstein Day, and if there was, there'd be an
He
outcry.
didn't accomplish anything except slaking the lusts
Okay.
of the elite pedophiles.
You just remind me of Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know how you got that.
Because he said that since they've been cursed, they have nothing to slake their lust. See, I do remember things.
Let's just keep
I'm an okay
associating
boomer.
words. I don't know. I would be
So
curious.
anyway.
I would actually want to ask people who really recognize that day as opposed to just a day off.
That may
who
be one of
actually
your
recognize it.
table things. Change Martin Luther King holiday name. Change my mind. Whatever. That guy.
That's Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
There you go. If you
Maybe
take that,
Crowder should.
Yeah.
Because I think it should. I think if we're going to tear down Robert E. Lee statues and things of that nature, then when we find out that a man, everyone sins, but hey, there's different. I mean, Jesus said, if you abuse one of these little ones, it would be better for you to have a millstone, a 1,000-pound millstone tied around your neck and you be cast into the depths. It'd be better if you were drowned.
See, it's like you open up a whole can of worms at
That's
that
right.
point, because then you could go into, all right, other recognized holidays, President's Day.
Who's
Should
it?
we really? Should we be honoring our
you know why
presidents?
we have
Because
President
we have
Day?
a lot of different people in president. President,
no.
See, hold on. You see, but you have to open it up
you
to
gotta
all
know
sides.
why.
Why?
Because it was George Washington Day, and then it was. See, this is where a boomer knows. It was George Washington Day, and then it was Abraham Lincoln. And so instead of having two, they just combined the two into one. So President's Day is really honoring George Washington.
But what about the faults of
and
those
Abraham
men? You see? But what
Lincoln.
about the
They were
faults
not
of those men?
pedophiles.
But what about the faults of those men?
They were not pedophiles.
Yeah, but supposedly, I'm not saying this of my own personal.
You better be
supposedly
careful.
Adultery, supposedly some slave ownership,
Adultery
and
from
adultery
who?
with the slave ownership
George Washington.
for both of them, supposedly
Adultery with Abraham Lincoln. I'd be
with
surprised.
slave ownership,
I'd be surprised with
things
that
of that
too.
nature. So there's all the. You see, that's a can of worms, totally unrelated to word association.
Okay, here we go.
We got to get off of this because we got to cover this
if
next
Martin
week. It'd be
Luther
great.
King Jr. came out and said, "You know what? I'm a pedophile. I'm an adulterer, and I repent," which I'm sure Abraham Lincoln.
Nah, this is conjecture. We don't know.
Yours is conjecture.
This whole world is conjecture. We live in the Matrix. Anyway.
Well, we might.
All right. So thank you for tuning into Word Association with a hint of political correctness and incorrectness. I'm Pastor Michael. This is Pastor Mike.
And I'm Pastor Mike. Thank
and
you.
please like, subscribe, share.
Email.
I'm curious what you would say. Comment, please. Your thoughts on where cancel culture ends. Why not? Because that's just fun. That's
I
just
got
a fun
one.
time. We got one what?
I got one.
Thoughts?
No, email whether you think Martin Luther King holiday should either be canceled or changed, the name changed.
See, I think the name
knowing
changed.
that what we have.
And people like changing the name. They probably would more change the name. But yeah,
Well, I'll
go
find
ahead
out
and
from 'em.
email asktwomikes@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. And otherwise, thank you for watching. Hopefully you were entertained by this. And we will see you next week. And that will be more in line with the way this podcast ended. So, yeah, thank you.
I love you.
Bless you.